Thanks, Minister. So at 11:59 p.m. last night, lockdown was lifted across Victoria. As I said yesterday, the commitment of every Victorian to staying home and staying safe helped us get to that position, as did the 40,000 primary close contacts and their household members who joined them in 14 days of quarantine. As a reminder for everyone about the changed settings, so there are no restrictions on the reasons to leave home, but staying COVID safe remains very important. There are no restrictions on travelling across the state, but if you're travelling interstate, be aware of two things. Other states are likely to have their own controls on entry while we're emerging from our outbreak, so look for updates across any jurisdiction you might be travelling to, and you'll need a permit to return. And then New South Wales as an extreme risk zone means that if you don't live in the border bubble, you won't have an automatic entitlement to return to Victoria if you travel into these areas without an exemption, exception, or unless you're a specialised worker and have a permit. So don't travel to an extreme risk zone and don't travel to a red zone. Face masks remain mandatory indoors and out. You do not need to wear a mask in your own home or if a lawful exception applies. Private gatherings in the home are not at this stage permitted. Household settings are where we know coronavirus spreads the most. There was a recent household gathering in Pendle Hill in New South Wales where dozens of people have become cases. There are many more examples of that across the world, and we can't risk that happening here. If you want to see friends and family, you can, but please do so outdoors in a public space, in a group of up to 10 people, or join them at a venue that can operate like a restaurant or a cafe. If you can work or study from home or another suitable premises, you can go to work. Offices can increase in attendance up to 25% capacity or 10 people, whichever is greater, and schools and early childhood care are open. Critically, if you're required to wear a mask at school, you really must. If you're going to the snow this weekend, you should start thinking about when and where you'll get that test, because you need a negative test for everyone in your household who's 12 and over. That may mean getting a test close to home where it's easy and you won't have a wait time, rather than close to the mountain that might be under more pressure. So you've got that 72-hour period before you go up to the mountain to get that test. So look to get one here in Metro Melbourne if you're coming from Melbourne. Testing turnaround times are really good. 99% of tests yesterday were returned by the next day. So you're very, very likely to get that negative result in good time. But stay on the safe side and prepare for it to take a bit longer just in case. I am really pleased that we've been able to lift lockdown, obviously, and lift it on schedule. But in the last few days, we've seen 8 to 12 cases a day. All of those linked cases have been in isolation, but that doesn't mean the environment we're in is risk-free, as this morning's case illustrates. So we are relying on all Victorians to continue to follow the rules, to wear their masks and to observe all the gathering limits and other restrictions. And of course, we're relying on them to check in, to get tested, and if eligible, of course, to get vaccinated at the earliest opportunity. Thank you.